Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, this is Insurance Claims Radio, and I'm your host, Phil Coutu. My specialty is I'm a public insurance adjuster, a regular insurance adjuster, appraiser, umpire, and roofing contractor. My guest today in the studio is Stevie Solomon. He's a former TAMCO rep for the shingle manufacturer, and he's got expertise when it comes to shingles. And my other guest is Mike Neely. He's with Pro Roof Solutions, Inc., based out of Colorado, and he specializes in commercial and residential roofing, as well as your full exterior and interiors. And we're going to start the show off talking about insurance. This is a show, it's just an open forum where we often have many guests, and we talk about how to handle your insurance claims. A lot of times we're focused in on hail or wind, sometimes fire. Primarily a lot to do with hail and roofing and exteriors because that's the primary event that affects Colorado. My experience goes to hurricanes, interiors. I was a large loss adjuster with many prominent insurance companies. And today I am an appraiser and often do represent insureds if they have a problematic claim. So we're going to open the show up today. And me and Mike were just talking about, he thinks that there's a decline in preferred contractors. A preferred contractor is a contractor recommended by your insurance company who signs a contract with your insurance company for, usually the rates are set by the insurance company, and usually they're under the rates, the standard rates, because the business competitive advantage, they're being referred by the contractor. And now I've been an adjuster many years, so I'm going to comment a little bit on it, but I'm going to open it up to Mike, who is a contractor out in the field, living and breathing in the streets these days. There's just a new storm that hit in Castle Rock with 2 to 2.5 inch hail. And Mike, what is your feeling, your gut instincts, and how do you feel about preferred contractors, and why are you not a preferred contractor?
Well, I think preferred contractors, they do it a little bit cheaper than everybody else, and so they get a little special deal there from the insurance company. And so, and being a regular, general contractor out here, we work real hard. We get out there and we do our door knocking, we do our investigation, and we'll take our cameras and get on that roof and let our eyes see what damage is there, and we let our customers see it. So, we compete with these preferred contractors, but we're also independent from them.
And what has been your experience with preferred contractors? Have you ever come behind a preferred contractor on a claim?
I have. I was in you're talking about Castle Rock. I've probably done a couple hundred homes in Castle Rock, one in 2009, the other one in 2012. But, we had a State Farm people that came out. And
so in 2009, you mean the storm, and in 2012?
Yeah, the hailstorm in 2009.
It sounded like you said you did 200 houses, but then you did one house in 2000.
Oh,
so I just want to clear it up for our audience
I
there.
apologize there. But anyway, yeah. And so, the preferred contractor came out, and they had a couple of their, their upper echelon people that came out with them. And, they have deep pockets and, great company and all that. But, their preferred contractor is who they give their business to. So if you're out there and they're trying to compete with you, right? So here you've done your due diligence, and you've been out there and you've done your walking through and making sure that there's hail damage, and you call it in for the customer and the claim, and all of a sudden that preferred contractor pops up. It's kind of like, okay, I've done my due diligence. How come this preferred contractor's there with me, and we're trying to compete for the same business?
So I just want everybody out there in the studio to know that this is Phil Coutu, your host. You can always reach me at 303-997-4247. I do also own rooftoproofing.com. And I have a multi-decade background working on the insurance side for the insurance industry, and I still consult with some insurance companies today. So I want to talk a little bit about preferred contractors. I have a situation right now. I'm going to ask my client for the next show if I can mention the strip mall. I'm hired as the public insurance adjuster on it. The insurance company sent out 3 of its contractors, not 1, 2, 3, and I'm just looking at my manager. What's Dave's position? Producer. Thanks, Dave, for jumping in there. So we got 1 minute to the break, but I'm going to talk about it. This is a strip mall down in Colorado Springs. 3 contractors were sent out by the insurance company. And as a public adjuster, I wrote a solid estimate of 1.7. The 3 contractors are in between about $500,000 and $600,000. So my name is Phil Coutu. We're live on insuranceclaimsradio.com. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com. Our number is 303-997-4247, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop.restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with Insurance Claims Radio, 303-997-4247. And just before the break, we were talking about a claim I had in Colorado Springs, and the insurance company sent out 3 of its own preferred contractors. And it's really amazing because these preferred contractors are very established contractors. I'd love to name them on the air, and one day I might. They're impressive. The way they outline their package is impressive. And they came in between $500,000 and $600,000 between the 3 of them. So I wrote my estimate properly, and I wrote it 1.7. And the reason I said 1.7 million is general contractor overhead and profit was missing. General contractor overhead and profit for multiple trades. Since these were primarily hail contractors, nobody paid attention to all the air conditioning units that were damaged on the strip mall. So I had my expert come out, HVAC expert, and I had $430,000 in damage. So right away that puts us at about $1 million if you're to add it on to the gentleman's or the other 3 contractors' claims. And then when you put the GCO&P on there, I'm in at 1.2. And then they missed like rusted gas lines that you really shouldn't reuse the connections. It's in violation of the building code. They missed the upgrade of insulating the roof, bringing it up to code under the energy code, another 3 inches, 3.2 or 3.3 inches in Colorado Springs, which triggers raising all the air conditioning unit stands and raising all the pipes. They missed gutters. They missed the heat cables in the gutters. And then they didn't pay for all the damaged venting and all the dents in the damaged venting. It could affect the venting. A lot of time you can look at it as it's not the biggest deal. But when you go to sell your building, it is a big deal. First sign when you go to sell your building, boom, we had an event here and we want money off. So the whole definition of insurance is try to indemnify you, make you whole, and put you back to pre-loss storm condition. So the insurance company wrote me back last week and said, we're rejecting your proof of loss. We have 3 competitive bids, case closed. Oh, I love this. So as a public adjuster and having spanning 3 decades in the business, actually 4 in contracting, 3 on insurance, it was wrong what the insurance company did. They should have looked at my claim and called me and said, hey, we noticed you have $430,000 of HVAC units in that. I'm so sorry that we missed those. We're going to come out and reinspect that. Oh, we missed the code upgrade for the installation. That is an incurred cost. The big thing is that this roof claim is worth, north of 1.5 million. I'm at 1.7. There's always little discrepancies. But where's the preferred contractor doing the service to the public and the insurance company doing a service? And we sent the proof of loss in, and they're just failing to look at the other things, the gutters, the heat cables in the gutters, all the air conditioning and heating units that are damaged, all the rusting lines on there. So they're just going to manipulate those rusted lines, fracture a gas line. You could have a gas leak up there, potentially have an explosion or blow up part of a building. These kind of things are kind of serious. They do create liability. And as a public adjuster, And even as an insurance adjuster, when I adjust it, it's my job to do the due diligence. And so what I did today to talk about preferred contractors is I pulled it up, Insurance Bad Faith in Colorado.
Bad faith claims in Colorado.
Yeah, we're going to talk about unfair claims settlement practices. Under the Claims Settlement Practices Act in Colorado, insurance companies are required to act in good faith on the following practices. So we're going to get into these, but I want to talk to people why sometimes, I'm not saying all preferred contractors are bad, but when you're getting into these high dollar amounts, it sometimes is problematic because the contractor is just looking at what the insurance company directs them to. They're primarily roofing and exterior contractors. They don't want to mess with the AC units. So it's not really doing you a justice. And that's why you need a contractor like Mike or myself to take a look at your claim. Potentially the strip mall, if they just went along with the preferred contractor, they're just getting their roof done. Wham, bam, thank you. And they're going to miss out on all the additional damages they have. They have some stucco damage. They have capping wall damage. They have metal roofing dents. A lot of things were overlooked because there's a good margin in that at $600,000 for the amount of scope they're going to do. And so that's why we want to talk about preferred contractors. Why you should always get your own real opinion, and not just from any contractor. You want to find somebody, ask them for their CV, which is a fancier word for a type of resume. You want to see their CV references, how long they've been in the business, what's their background, what's their education. It's very, very important. And then you have somebody looking out for your interest. I want to tell the public out there, when you purchase insurance, you should be made whole. You paid money for that contract. And our whole belief here, or my belief, is at rooftoproofing.com and Power Adjusters and Power Adjuster, we have multiple companies, is that you should be made whole. It's always been my belief, even when I worked for the insurance company, and I had many, many fights with the insurance industry as a large loss adjuster and a regular adjuster, where I'm like, we just owe it to them. And, you know, because you got to remember, insurance companies are for profit. There's different people in different positions in different storms and in different catastrophe events known as CATs. And the stuff that we've seen over my career has just been phenomenal. And sometimes we've had fantastic managers and fantastic insurance companies wanting to pay. And so that gets into the preferred contractor who's really looking out for you.
You know, another thing, Phil, is that I'm not certain the public knows what an HVAC is. Maybe you could give
HVAC,
them a little bit of HVAC.
We refer to the heating and ventilation unit. So an HVAC contractor, it's just short. So anything that's heating, ventilating, if you have a heating unit, air conditioning, your duct work, furnace caps, any vent caps, intake, outtake, exhaust fans, from bathroom vents to restaurants, any type of mechanical equipment that is on your roof or also on the ground can be affected by the hail.
And so when a contractor gets up there and he sees that there's a furnace cap up there that's been damaged by hail, why do we want to use an HVAC person to do that?
Okay, that's a great question, Mike. And let me tell the public out there why. I once had a situation with a prominent insurance company up in Greeley. And the situation was, they're like, you're the only roofer in the early 2000s that charges $300 per furnace cap. And I said, yeah, because there's a handful of deaths every single year in the United States from contractors changing vent caps. And they're very hard to prove if the contractor's the one at fault. Because what happens is the manufacturer clearly states that the vent, that the cap must have the same serial number as the pipe. Okay. Now that's okay. So what, right? Well, I was a contractor, and when I was 23 years old doing a roof, I was working on a bungalow, and I changed the vent cap myself to save the money. Insurance pays like $50 at the time or $35. So I go up, you go to Home Depot or your local Ace Hardware, and you get the furnace cap and you put it on. Well, the furnace cap was a little rusty, so I snapped it. Right? It's like, crack. Okay, got the furnace cap off, and I changed it. And the next morning I came there, and I'm a 23-year-old, 22-year-old roofer, ripped jeans, ripped shirt. And Lee's like, Philip, oh, you guys are doing a great job, but can you come look in my basement? We have a pipe that's popped out of the hot water tank. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm very young now, so I don't know this stuff. And I go down to the basement, and it was unbelievable. I had popped, it was a bungalow, but I'd popped all the way down the little pipe that sits on your hot water tank. I'd popped it out about 2/3 of the way. And the big problem with that is that means that a bunch of the carbon monoxide and dioxide is going into the basement, and people can't taste it or smell it, and it causes death. We've all heard of it, or we've seen it in movies. People commit suicide in their cars or whatever from the carbon monoxide. Well, this can happen by accident, and it's a serious thing in the United States. And some actual smart building departments have banned contractors replacing them. And it clearly says on your furnace vent pipe that if you have a licensed professional should do it. And if you don't have the cap serial numbers match the pipe serial numbers, that the warranty is void and can cause death. And there was a study done after the Phoenix hailstorm where the fire departments were responding because the contractors were changing all the vents. And it's a great article. You can look it up. 2010 hailstorm in Phoenix. The fire department actually estimates 30 to 40% of roofs had pipes apart in the attic. Now, the great thing is if it's just in your attic, most of the carbon monoxide is getting filtered out. But in the case of a friend I had that worked for a company named Timber Roof in Minneapolis in 1998, he couldn't get the furnace guy out, and it was a 49-year-old roofer. His name's Terry. He used to be based out of Colorado for a while. And Terry went up and changed a cap. And they kept going back to this house, and this little 5-year-old was sick, and she was bleeding out of her nose and her mouth. Anyways, they did a ton of investigation over a year. What's making this little girl sick? And it found out that when he changed the cap, it came apart in the wall right down by the intake by her bedroom. And so she's getting partial carbon monoxide poisoning every night that she went to bed. And anyways, they tagged the roofing company for $1 million on their liability insurance. And the salesman carried his own liability, and they tagged him for $300,000. The great news is that it was accidental and there was no death, and they were able to find out and resolve the problem. But these are real things. And these are, when you see that your insurance company paying $50 for a furnace cap, you should have a professional. You should have your general contractor pay the money and have a professional change those caps, because it can be death. It's a low percentage, but it's not worth the risk, and your insurance has an obligation to pay for that.
Yeah, and who wants murder charges? I mean, nobody wants that, right?
It's a negligent homicide charge these days, same as a vehicular homicide. All right. I'm Phil Coutu with Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com, 303-997-4247, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience, and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, I'm Phil Coutu. We're back with Insurance Claims Radio. We're a program to help the consumer handle their claims. And we're based out of Colorado right now. And we're talking about hail. And we just were wrapping up talking about furnace caps. So, Mike, as a contractor, what have you seen with furnace caps?
I tell you, Phil, last year there was a large company that did a lot of roofs over in Lakewood. And I have a friend that rents one of his townhomes out. And all of a sudden, this furnace cap fell loose, like you said, right directly, right where the hot water heater is. This lady and her family was sicker than heck. They didn't know what was causing it. They're coughing. They end up having to go to the hospital. The hospital checks the levels of that, carbon monoxide poisoning. They had to stay in a motel for a few days. I mean, it got to be pretty serious. And so I had to call my friend who works at the post office and say, hey, Dave, man, these people are really sick. We need to get somebody out here. So we did get an HVAC guy out here the following day. He looked at it and found out that not only was their apartment, damaged by a roofer doing it, and not an HVAC guy, but the next door neighbor was. And so, it can be a very serious situation. I think it's imperative and almost mandatory that you have an HVAC guy do that. A roofer should not be doing
Right.
that. And there's codes, Jefferson County they want 2 screws on that cap so it makes sure it won't fall off,
And I'll give you another situation. A friend of mine, Dave, from Citadel Roofing in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in about 1998-99, he changed the furnace cap. And he didn't understand, and the people kept calling him back all winter because they kept having a leak on their roof. And he's like, I remember him calling me, and he's like, Phil, can you come out and help me? I don't know what's going on. I keep having this leak. And we're like, okay. And I never did make it out, but eventually what happened in the spring is a big chunk of ice collapsed through the ceiling of the drywall. It kept making a wet spot. And what happened was the sweating. The furnace cap came apart just right below the insulation, or right at the insulation line. And it's so cold in Manitoba, they were having freezing, and it created a big ice ball. And then in the spring, it broke loose off the pipe, and it fell through the drywall. And he just didn't know. He couldn't find the roof leak. He kept tarring and sealing all the flashings. So what happened is there's carbon monoxide pouring into the attic. What Dave's lucky is it didn't break down in the wall, And a lot of times the thing is you can't even prove liability. How do you prove 3 years later when somebody gets sick or somebody dies from complications or has some kind of chronic fatigue that the pipe's apart in the wall? Most people don't know. So these are the situations you want a seasoned veteran like Mike here with Pro Roof. Mike's now, I think, Mike, you're 60 years old now, aren't you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting up there. Got a little gray there on my beard. And, and it's important that that the public also has carbon monoxide detectors.
It is.
And they need to be situated in, different parts of your home. But that's something we highly recommend, too.
Yeah, I think that we're going to actually put a proposal out to Dora that they put in a bulletin, maybe that you should use a professional heating and ventilation contractor. We're going to put a consumer alert out there on the internet, too, for this. You can always find information at rooftoproofing.com. Call me or Mike. Mike, what's your phone number?
Yeah, my number's 720-628-7293.
And so just so we know, Mike, the great Mike Neely sitting next to me at Pro Roof Solutions, he's been a friendly competitor of mine for many, I guess, decades now, Mike.
Yeah,
I own rooftoproofing.com, and, he's one of the good guys out there. You can call either me or Mike for any of your roofing or hail needs. And in our next show, we're going to be talking about problematic claims. We still got 5 minutes, and we're going to continue on about furnace vents and the severity of not having a professional change them. So you're the public, and you see your estimate, and it says, let's just say, I don't know what exact estimate's going for furnace vents, somewhere around $55. It depends on the insurance company and the software, but it's about $55. Now, a seasoned professional from a heating and ventilation company is going to want about $250 to $300 to come out for the first cap. He's probably going to charge you around $100 to $150, depending on the size of the caps, as much as $300 for big caps to come out. So the first thing the consumer says is, well, I can get someone to do it for $55. But you're shortchanging yourself. Just because the insurance company is paying the price for a roofer to do it doesn't mean that your general contractor or your roofer cannot hire an HVAC company to do it and pay the $300 or $250 to the first cap. I mean, it's a competitive capitalistic market. But they owe you for that, and there's good reason. You don't want to handle the liability. Another thing that we do down at rooftoproofing.com is we do attic inspections. And we start charging for this as well because we want to inspect all our attics when we've changed furnace caps, even if our furnace vent guy did it. They're supposed to know. They have the liability insurance. But, when you've been doing this as long as I have, I've been doing this since I'm 13 years old. I'm now around the age of 48. I mean, that's a long run.
Getting a little gray in there too, Phil.
I'm getting a little bit. Not as much as you there, old timer. But, these are important things. You have children, you have people, you have a house. And, for an extra few $100s, who wants to ever take the risk of any kind of carbon monoxide poisoning? And the big thing is carbon monoxide poisoning comes in different forms. The worst is death. But, it's chronic fatigue syndrome. You're tired. You don't always know. If you've ever been to a hurricane or you were a hurricane adjuster living like I've lived before. I've been a large loss adjuster, and temporarily we have no housing. So like in New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina, I was living in probably Walmart parking lot in one of our travel trailers for probably about 4 to 5 weeks. And there's probably about 300 trailers in this parking lot because it was a devastating hurricane, and all the Walmarts put everybody up, and Kmart's and everybody. And there's so many compressors running. I remember we were sleeping with the windows open. I was like, shut all the windows, only the top vents on the trailer. And I tried to go to the corner of the lot. Nobody died, but you can feel its effects in the morning. You're sluggish, you're tired. So I'm just telling people out there to be aware of these kind of things and why you don't want to hire young companies. When I was young, I always would get mad. Oh, you got to pay your dues. I was 23, hot shot, running rooftop roofing, lots of sales guys. We were a very, very big company. And I was like, pay your dues. I've been doing this for 7 years. But let me tell you, there is nothing better than real life experience and knowledge around one avenue. The amount of knowledge that I've amassed over 33 years is incredible in this business. And same with you, Mike.
Yeah, this lady I was telling you about, they ended up coughing, right? They had this fogginess in their eyes, and it affects the brain. I mean, it really can be a very serious situation. So you definitely want to to make sure that you have an HVAC person out there. A lot of times they'll even get on a roof and you'll see there's a brand new roof, and you go to look at the furnace cap and it is just smacked to heck, right? And so even the roofing contractor that did that didn't do these people justice, and it's causing a problem for them, because they didn't change it out or have an HVAC guy change it out.
Right, and our whole show bases around is trying to educate you, the public, things that you should look out for. If you have any issues with a problematic claim, I'm Phil Coutu, the host of Insurance Claims Radio. You can reach me at rooftoproofing.com. I specialize in large, complex commercial claims. If you had a denied claim, your red flags are your insurance, your condo association or a church, you have a cosmetic exclusion, and your insurance company says that you're owed zero or you have a partial roof, give me a call. We'll take a look at it free. If we choose to take your claim on, we'll often fund all the costs, the experts, appraisal, the attorneys, everything. We'll use often what's called an assignment of benefits. Mike also does some commercial roofing. He does a lot of residential as well. He's an expert at it, and you can reach him at Pro Roof Solutions. And Mike, your phone number?
Yeah, it's 720-628-7293.
All right, so we're going to wrap this show up. We'll see you next time. You can reach us at rooftoproofing.com, 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.